Old video games. Nintendo has released the NES Classic, the SNES Classic, and presumably that would mean they're going to come out with an N64 Classic. It makes sense. You've got millennials like me who want to relive their childhood. 90s nostalgia is all the rage. It just makes sense for Nintendo to release a mini N64. Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they? There's actually a few reasons why Nintendo might not release an N64 Mini. When you think about it, there might not actually be a ton of games for it. The NES Classic had 30, the SNES had 20. The N64, maybe 10? When you look at the NES and SNES Classic Minis, you've got Castlevania, Final Fantasy, Contra. They've all got games on both systems, but they seem to have skipped the N64 altogether. Or the games just weren't very good. I'm looking at you, Castlevania. You've got 3 Mario Parties, Smash Brothers, Super Mario 64, Ocarina of Time, and a few others. There are going to be plenty of titles missing. Microsoft's not gonna let any rare titles come out on it, so you're just gonna end up disappointing that 30-something nostalgic gamer. No matter how many titles you have on the system, they're not gonna be worth anything if you can't play them properly. When you go to the electronics store or a toy store, you see clone systems of everything from an Atari to a Sega Genesis, an NES, or even a Super Nintendo. But have you ever seen a clone N64? If anyone was going to do it, it would be Nintendo. But look at the library of N64 games on the Virtual Console. It'll take a while for Nintendo to figure it out, if they even do it at all. Last, but by certainly no means least, this guy. The N64 controller is going to be a problem, and I don't mean the shape. When people want to relive being 8 years old again, they want this. I mean, in terms of numbers. Do you think Nintendo, who couldn't make enough controllers for the NES Classic, are gonna make 4 of these, potentially, for every system sold? And then there's this. Unless Nintendo's willing to dump a whole bunch of money into R&D for a whole new stick configuration, these are just gonna break all over again. When you're playing Mario Party, you're gonna wanna do this. Thing is, Nintendo was actually sued by the state of New York, represented by Elliot Spitzer. Yes, that Elliot Spitzer. Supposedly, they were forced to give a glove to any kid who asked for it. The threat of legal action may very well sink any chance of the N64 Mini ever coming to light. I'm looking forward to the N64 Classic coming out eventually. That's why I'm starting to save my money now. Thanks for watching, and mahalo.